Good evening. Welcome to Woodbridge, the best town around. My name is John McCormick. I'm the mayor of this great town. And once again, we're here to show you why we're the best town around. We're going to start with a proclamation for Mayor's Award for Community Service to the Ladies of Colonia Country Club. Now, this is a group that is members, many members, right? Many spouses of members. Less than a year ago, they came to us with the idea of doing a fundraiser, and it just grew and grew and grew. And the next thing we know, the event raised $30,000 for the domestic violence response team. Now, the town, that's an applause line. The town gives $25,000 to the group, so we got tired of seeing them struggle at St. Andrew's Church in the basement with breakfast to make $400 and going to this event and making $300 and doing all this work to make very little. And they represent us, and they work for us as a township. So we decided to heck with that. If they want to do their fundraisers and have fun, it could be fundraisers instead of fundraisers. If they wanted to do it, let them do it, but we should really support them financially through the budget. So for the past 4 years maybe, Walter, that we've given them 3 or 4 years, $25,000. So now, along comes this group and overshadows the mayor and the council and makes us look inept because we only gave them $25,000 and they just, in one night, raised $30,000. So I'm going to call up Marguerite Connolly, and anybody else who wants to come up, you can come up, but I want you to explain to us how you did it. You got a great reputation down there. Everybody knows you. Everybody loves you. And no, it's not stage fright. Come on. Why don't you all come up and give her support? So now, you want to say a few words about how you did this event at the country club. So let's tell me everything about it.
And I think this is being recorded.
Yeah.
So we decided that we weren't just going to be a group of ladies that were going to sit around and play mahjong and cards and golf. So we wanted a little bit more of that, so we decided that we were going to do a fundraiser for Domestic Violence Task Force. And we had a lot of help from Ellen. Go ahead.
Hi. As a resident of Woodbridge Township, I find it's very important that we support our township and the organizations within it. So as the ladies, as Marguerite said, we, the ladies of Colonia Country Club, needed to do something for our town. So we decided to hold a fundraiser, an event that was fun for us, but gave to the community. During the past year and a half, the women and sometimes men of our community are faced with situations where they cannot get out of a bad situation. So hopefully these monies will be used to put these people in a better place. So I hope it goes to a good cause. Thank you.
And we can't wait for next year's because we're having a luau. So get your coconuts out.
Tell me about the event.
The event was at the club. It was a hoedown, which was Melissa's idea, I believe. So everyone got dressed up and put their hose down.
This is a family shout.
And we made baskets that we raffled off, and Ellen made a wonderful quilt. Melissa brought toys, and everybody just made some wonderful baskets that we auctioned off, and my husband actually matched all donations collected, so we have to give a big shout out to him. But
Can I ask you why DVRT among all the different things you could have done? What made you think of that?
a couple years before that, we helped with the substance abuse housing.
Oh, right.
We took in $10,000 for that, and then we made Thanksgiving baskets for that. But we decided domestic abuse because it was just women and children, mostly. And so that's going to be our cause moving forward. We're not going to switch that up.
Terrific, terrific. Let me ask Walter Pearson, who is the director of our domestic violence response team. Now, this is not just I'll join the DVRT and I'll get out and do some things and help out if I can. You've got to go through 40 hours of training, and you've got to be. It's a very significant commitment. We go through that, Walter, if you don't mind. and then tell me more about the team, how somebody can sign up, and then let me know what you think of these great ladies of the Colonial Country.
Absolutely. Thank you. Again, my name is Walt Pearson. I'm the coordinator for the Woodbridge Township Domestic Violence Response Team. I have to say that we are the best domestic violence response team in the county of Middlesex.
I would go further. State of
Okay,
New Jersey.
in the state of New Jersey, thank you. We're recognized, we also do all of the training for the other domestic violence response teams. Unfortunately, my training partner, Louise, couldn't be here tonight. But let me tell you about what we do, okay? We're now up about 25 volunteers, all living within this community, okay? And these are all people who are giving back to the community. We take shifts, sometimes 4 and 5 over the course of a month, 12-hour shifts where we're on call. We can be called out at 2 o'clock in the morning. We've got Thanksgiving coming up and the holidays, and there's no guarantee if you're on call that you're not going to get called in to help somebody within our community. Okay? Talking about domestic violence, 1 out of 4 women over the course of their lifetime is going to be a victim of domestic abuse. And it's not just physical, okay? We talk about peeps. Now, when I say peeps, we think about the Easter candy, okay? Those cute little rabbits. But peeps actually, in terms of domestic violence, is physical, emotional, economic, psychological, and sexual abuse, okay? So it's not just physical. One of the questions that we get often asked by outside people is, why do they stay? And the biggest reason is because they have no place to go. They can go to a shelter for 30 to 90 days, but what do they do after that? Okay? They wind up staying with friends or with family, and that only causes more issues within that circle. So one of the things that we're doing right now is we're looking at providing some housing here in the community. Right now, there are 14 apartments in the whole state of New Jersey for victims of domestic abuse. When I say 14 apartments, these are actually units for survivors who are going through rigorous training to get them back into the workplace. They're also getting education. They're also getting the personal skills that they need in order to get back out there. 14 apartments. We treat dogs and cats, okay, better than we do victims of domestic violence, okay? Every township has got a shelter for dogs and cats and other animals. We don't put enough effort into the survivors and the victims of domestic violence. And thankfully, the Colonial Country Club women have given us seed money that we're going to use to help get us on our way of providing housing. Also, that donation goes to immediate needs. We have folks who come in with nothing but the clothes on their back and a couple of bucks in their pocket. They have no place to go. They're terribly frightened. We'll put them up in a hotel. We'll be sure that they've got meals. We'll give them some gift cards for the local supermarkets. That's what we do. But we don't do it alone, okay? We've got a wonderful town council here. We've got the best police department, okay, in the state of New Jersey, okay? And we get the cooperation and the support from the mayor's office all the way down to the patrolmen. So I don't do this alone. Our team doesn't do it alone. It takes the whole community. So thank you, and thank you for your support, and thank you for the continued support, because we're going to do this. Okay? Thank you.
Just for the record, Walter described those little yellow peeps. I'm pretty sure they're chicks, not rabbits. I'm just saying, I want to correct the record. But also, Walter and Louise are relentless. And we have been working, you say there's 14 in the state, we're working on a plan to put 8 in Woodbridge. So we'll have 8 out of 22 in the whole state, 8 of them will be in Woodbridge. We can't release anything yet on the plans, we're still working on it, but these These people, they're driving around looking for places there. We meet with them all the time. They're just so dedicated to this entire cause, so they deserve a heck of a lot of credit for that. So you picked a good cause. So Walter, Marguerite, if you could come up here, and you and Walter stand in the middle, a bit closer.
Squeeze it a little more this way.
So we have, I didn't introduce the council in the beginning, we have our council president, Brian Small, we have our council vice president, Howie Bauer, councilwoman at large, Lisbeth De Jesus, councilwoman from the 5th Ward, Debbie Meehan, and councilman from the 4th Ward, Vera Patel. Now we have a very special proclamation. I would like to call up Marquise Zeno, a public safety telecommunication emergency dispatch operator. So, whereas public safety stands as the single most priority mission of the Woodbridge Township Police Department, and whereas WPD Public Safety Emergency Dispatch Operator Marquis Zeno demonstrated a commitment to public safety and law enforcement in his service to the community, when on Friday, October 1st, 2021, Zeno received an emergency call from the South Columbia Police Department advising that a 15-year-old female student had been abducted from the high school. And whereas Marquis Zeno, utilizing his training and experience, secured all available information regarding the abduction, entered the information into the CAD system while simultaneously briefing PD supervisors of the immediacy and gravity of the situation. And whereas while engaged in the dispatch operations, Zeno received a frantic phone call from the victim at the time, where he verified the location of the call and secured additional information while maintaining a calm demeanor and assuring the victim that assistance was en route to the location identified as the Travelodge Hotel on Route 1 South in Avenel. And whereas Zeno, through his thorough response to the unfolding situation, was able to provide positive identification information of the suspect and the suspect vehicle, which allowed responding PD officers to locate and arrest the suspect and secure the safety and well-being of the victim. Now, therefore, I, John McCormick, Mayor of the Town of Woodbridge, in conjunction with the Woodbridge Township Council, do hereby extend highest honor and congratulations to Emergency Dispatch Operator Marquis Zeno for his dedication to the public safety of our community. This was a great move, and you might have saved our lives. Marquise's proud father is in the audience with a camera. He was born with a camera in his hand. There's more selfies of Mark Zeno on Facebook than any other person alive. I would like to, Marquise, you want to say a few words?
Well, thank everyone for the applause, but I don't want to be cliche, but it's, just doing the job, making sure you do everything you can do to make sure everyone in town and everywhere else that we connect with are safe. So,
but do you realize that you might have saved that young lady's life?
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
I do. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. Oh, Lacavera, sorry. Supervisor, Officer Sergeant Lacavera is in the audience.
Yes, sir.
You want to say anything?
No, the only thing is that that doesn't describe the call itself.
Well, come here, come on up. Get on the camera.
Come on, Sarge, come on down. There you go.
What this doesn't say is that the call itself was really involved. The girl was kind of frantic. He was able to keep her calm. And I was in the room while the call was going on. He was actually getting specific details about the description of the vehicle, making it easier to point out. She was able to describe exactly where she was, but he was able to use the equipment inside the radio room. We have what's called a rapid light, which was able to locate the caller, and we were able to get police officers there pretty quickly based on the information that we got. So we did a great job.
I'd like to thank the mayor and council for recognizing the hard work the personnel from the police department do. Our telecommunicators, dispatchers, they have a really hard job. and they keep our officers safe on the street by the information they collect and receive, and also keep our residents safe. Great example right here. We were able to take an offender off the road because of Marquise. So great job. Congratulations.
We're also joined by Councilman Corey Spiller, 3rd Ward, and we're joined by Councilman Greg Picara at large. Let's get Marquise in the middle here. You got a lot of family here, I see. A lot of people cheering like mad for you back there. Let's bring you all up and get a picture here, and then we'll join in when you're done. Wait, let me take a picture of you. Wait a minute, look.
Sorry. All right, thank you.
Please rise for a pledge of allegiance and a moment of silence for our men and women serving in our military.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Mitch.
Notice requirements of the Open Public Meeting Law have been satisfied concerning this meeting. The Home Tribune and the Star Ledger published a notice on December 18, 2020, which should be so noted in the minutes of this meeting, and it was posted on the municipal bulletin board. Councilman Spiller. Here. Councilman Ficara. Here. Councilwoman Meehan. Here. Councilwoman Drum. Councilman Patel. Here. Councilman Anderson. Councilwoman De Jesus. Here. Vice President Bauer. Here. And President Small. Here. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from November the 9th?
Motion. Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Starting with second reading ordinances this evening, starting with letter A. Mr. President, just be reminded that we had the public hearing at our last session. So this evening, I'm just looking for a motion to adopt letter A and submit to the mayor for approval as required by law.
Motion. Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Letter B is an ordinance amending Chapter 2 entitled The Police Department, the revised ordinance of the Township of Woodbridge, and this is to set forth the fee for copies of the body worn camera recordings. Can I get a motion that this ordinance be taken up on second and third reading and the public hearing be open?
Motion. Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The public hearing is now open on letter B only.
Good evening, Tom Maris, Fords, New Jersey. I think for several years there was resistance about going to the cams, the body cams on our police officers. However, the state has mandated that that has to go forward. One could probably argue that both ways, but since it's going to happen, can we get some explanations of how it's going to be implemented? Who will be wearing body cams? Will it be all officers while they're active on service? And how will that be monitored?
Director Hubbard.
Sure. All our officers are going to be issued body cameras. They'll comply with the Attorney General guidelines on when they'll wear them. Not everybody will be required to. It just matters the circumstances. If they're on patrol, obviously they'll be wearing them. As far as how they'll be monitoring, we have a unit that will strictly deal with body camera footage and in-car camera footage.
Thank you. I'm sure they'll do an excellent job like you have everything else. That was my only question. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the public? Hearing no other comments, can I get a motion that the public hearing be closed, or to be adopted and submitted to the mayor for approval as required by law?
Motion. Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Letter C is an ordinance authorizing the acquisition of property known as 267 East Smith Street in Woodbridge. Can I get a motion that this ordinance be taken up on second and third reading and the public hearing be open?
Motion?
Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Public hearing is now open on letter C, letter C.
Yes, good evening, Tom Maris, again, Fords, New Jersey. What is the acquisition price of that property, and how was it valuated? And what is the intended purpose of its use once the town acquires it?
The purchase price is $2.3 million as determined from negotiations and through an appraisal. The use of one of the buildings will be for a second location for our house, which is the place where special needs adults have essentially a day camp environment where they learn job skills and they have recreation opportunities, just like we have over at Cypress Recreation Center. One of the three buildings we're buying is not in shape. It'll have to be demolished, and there has not been a use determined yet for the third building that we're purchasing, which is a former school.
If I can, who did the evaluation of $1.3 million? What's the name of the specific?
I think it was Sockler Appraisal Company.
Is that the same one that the township typically uses?
We've used them quite a bit lately, yes.
Thank you.
Any other comments on letter C?
John with Derek Woodbridge. On the same letter C, 267 East Smith Street, I understand that's Hungarian church, right?
We're not purchasing the church right now.
So definitely not purchasing the church.
No.
Did some misunderstanding among the parishioners? Because some people say it's sold, and people are supposed to vote the directors, and some people say it's not. So I'm very clear that it's not a church.
Not the church.
Thank you, ma'am.
Any other questions on letter C? Hearing no other questions, can I get a motion that the public hearing be closed, or be adopted and submitted to the mayor for approval as required by law?
Motion?
Second. Any questions or comments? All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Letters D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, and N, ordinances first reading. Can I get a motion that they all be passed on first reading, published in the Home Tribune on November the 12th, 2021, with no public hearing to be held on November 23rd, 2021, at 6 p.m.
Motion? Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Mr. President, you have 26 items before your resolutions, plus the additional 27, which is the emergency award to Kinsley Power Systems for a cooling system leak. So with that said, can I get a motion to approve 1 through 27?
Motion? Second.
Any questions or comments from council?
Mr. Mitch?
Yes, sir.
I'd just like to thank the mayor and administration for having conversations regarding resolution number 3 regarding the Building 38 Woodbine Avenue fire and the waiving of any permit fees down the road that they might encounter. So thank you.
Any other comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
This time we'll go to our open public session. A reminder, you have 5 minutes to...
Good evening, Council. My name is Mike Zompa, Colonia, New Jersey. I recently, a few weeks ago, received in the mail a notice from the water company that the perfluorinated chemicals are above the allowed regulatory limits. They are currently working to remedy the situation. However, it looks like the remediation will not be implemented until 2023. I do understand that the options until then are limited, and I understand that this council might, not be bound to answering questions or might not be privy to some of the information. I would urge more widespread communication of what's available. The New Jersey website, I don't remember exactly which one, they do urge and they offer carbon filters that are available to remove and lower the levels of these components. However, there are other barriers here, like that communication that I received was in English only, which immediately limited access. I would urge this council to, or in general, more widespread communication about the issue and the potential remediations and solutions for people to figure out if they're impacted. Laboratory testing locations, other resources such as that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments from the public this evening? Here are no other comment. Can I get a motion that the public portion of this meeting be closed?
Motion.
Good evening, James Dabrowski, Woodbridge proper. Here with me tonight, I have a Black Lives Matter shirt, as you can see, that I got online from the Major League Soccer store at MLSstore.com. The shirt has been worn by players, coaches, and staff throughout the MLS is Back tournament in solidarity with the Black Lives Matter movement and protests that have taken place throughout the United States and the rest of the world following the police murders of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and countless other black lives. Many of those protests occurred right here in Woodbridge Township. The shirt was designed by Philadelphia Union midfielder Warren Creavalle and includes a statement on the back from Portland Timbers forward Jeremy Ebobisse, which reads, "To be clear, this is not your distraction. It's not your escape from real life. For some, this is everyday life. This is not politics. It's not black versus white. It's human rights. Silence is violence. In certain cases, silence was suffocation. This is not meant for your comfort. It's not meant to be a trend. It's meant for your awareness, understanding, and mobilization. If you're not uncomfortable, you're doing it wrong. MLS is back, but black lives still matter. They mattered yesterday, they matter today, and they must matter tomorrow." At the bottom, it also reads, "I stand in solidarity with the black community in the fight against systemic racism." At our last meeting, Mayor John McCormick broke rules of decorum to interrupt my time as he lied on the record, dishonorably denying the fact that he callously refused to affirm that Black Lives Matter, even going so far as to call our nation's largest racial justice movement, quote unquote, awful. Tonight, the mayor doesn't have to rudely interrupt my time, as I yield the remainder of it for him to explain why he lied to the public and why we should trust him again after that. Council President Small, if you'll ask the mayor to respond, please.
Mayor, would you like to respond?
No, thank you.
So after cutting off my time last week, you weren't held accountable for it. You have nothing to say this time. Mayor McCormick, would you like to say Black Lives Matter for once?
Mr. Dombrowski, address it through me.
Council President, would our mayor like to affirm that Black Lives Matter for the first time ever? He has the opportunity right now to fix the mistake. He doesn't have to double down like our absolute disgrace of an ex-president has made popular. He can admit he did something wrong and try to correct the mistake. That's what real leaders do. Real leaders don't double down and stick to their guns when they know they were wrong, when they're caught lying, whether it be the big lie or a small lie. Like this is a big lie too. You're the mayor of Woodbridge Township, over 100,000 people, supposedly a Democrat. You wouldn't say it. You said it's awful. What do you have to say about that, Mayor McCormick? Nothing. What an absolute shame. And Council President Small, what's that? Okay. Okay, you're talking to somebody, but that's pretty rude. Council President Small, at our last meeting, you also interrupted a member of the public to single out Kason Little for not recording completely within this little silly roped off area a suppressive policy I've never seen anywhere else, and which I've yet to see a written copy of from this council. Would you like to explain yourself what that was all about?
It's an ordinance. It's an ordinance.
It's posted on the door.
It's posted on that Woodbridge has a, what is it, a 5x1 roped off area you have to record from?
I think it's a little bigger than that.
A little bigger than that? Well, when did that policy first come into place? It was never there when we first started with the Immigrants' Rights Resolution. I remember that. But all of a sudden, it came out of nowhere. Why? Why can't we record from our seats? Please help me understand that.
Policy, I don't know the exact date, but the policy's been around for years.
It's been around for years? Can anybody confirm that? Only in Woodbridge, though.
It's passed by ordinance.
Only in Woodbridge. Why only in Woodbridge? Why every other council meeting it's okay to record from wherever you want? Why in Woodbridge, this little tiny roped off area? And why did you single out Kason and then eject him and I when we said something you didn't like? I said, you could turn your back on him again. You got upset. You said, excuse me? I repeated myself. You ejected me from the meeting. Do you stand by that decision?
Absolutely.
You do? Because you didn't like what I said, it's okay to kick people out of the room?
You're being disruptive.
And it wasn't disruptive when you turned your back on him at a meeting? Are you kidding me? You still don't want to apologize for that? You think it's okay to spin your chair around while the public's up here speaking and just turn your back? That's okay with you? Can I do that to you?
If you so choose.
I wouldn't, though, because that's ridiculous. You don't think it's ridiculous what you did that day, Council President, and Corey Spiller as well? Can you ask Mr. Spiller if he'd like to speak on that?
Councilman Spiller?
No comment.
No, no comment. It's just disrespect, utter disrespect.
Thank you. Your time's up.
Black Lives Matter. Justice for Jeremiah Daniels Porter. Justice for Nigeria Parks.
Amber Jarrett, Woodbridge proper. I just want to make a in general comment about Woodbridge. I've lived here for 10 years now, and I recently ran for Board of Ed, as many of you know. And just a curiosity, it is a nonpartisan election, and as I drove around as a candidate and looked in Edison, Rahway, Metuchen, every town basically around here, I had yet to see a mayor's team sign or a mayor that designated 3 people and then hosted $300 a ticket fundraisers for them. Just curious what makes the mayor qualified to choose people for the Board of Ed who happen to also serve on councils that he's appointed them to, such as the Mayor's Advisory Council, the Housing Authority, the Human Rights Commission. I mean, he seems to have like a small set of people that he just hand selects for everything. And it kind of questions like whether any of you will speak against the mayor on anything, or why one person has such control in our town that he hand selects not only the Board of Ed, but the town council. I mean, if anyone crosses them, I guess they get off the team. The team that also, I believe the council themselves passed the ordinance that you cannot put signs on the right of way and public property. I came outside of my house on the morning of the election to see my entire street, both sides, lined in the Board of Ed mayor's team signs. So I'm just curious, you know, what, I guess you just don't have to follow your own rules? I don't know. And just, yeah, in general, why a nonpartisan election has such a heavy mayor influence. Oh, I'd also just like to comment that mayors may have their people in other towns, but if you look at Metuchen's candidates, Perth Amboy's candidates, they actually had education backgrounds, so it could kind of see why somebody might think they're qualified. Just want to throw that out there. Thanks.
Any other comments from the public today?
Good evening, Tom Maris, Sports, New Jersey. I'd like to take a moment to congratulate everybody that ran for office, that was elected, and also the candidates that weren't elected but put forth their effort, their hearts, their souls, their money to run, and that's what our government's all about. People have spoken, let's move on, let's move forward, let's move on together and get things done in this town that we want to get done. You know, it's a shame once again I hear the mayor being berated, and look, I've been up here and certainly had it out with the mayor on several things, but I think he or any other individual has a perfect right not to say Black Lives Matter. It's when you say that they don't matter that you're a racist. But nobody has to be forced to say that they do matter, because everybody's lives matter, and you don't have to distinguish between them. And I commend you, Mayor, on this, honestly I do, for standing up and not kowtowing to this kind of racist nonsense. It's all it is race baiting, and it shouldn't be happening, but it does, and that's part of the country. That this man won't even stand up for the flag that gives him the right to sit there or stand here and talk the way he does. Anyway, moving on.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Did he disrupt you? No.
Thank you. There are a couple of things we don't talk about resolutions anymore, but I think these are paramount enough to be questioned. And that's number 20, 21, and 23. And I'd like to have explanations on each one of those as to why we're approving township agreement on Ross Street School. Apparently there's going to be a new construction of a parking garage going on there. How will that affect the children at the Ross Street School or that area? Obviously going to be bringing more traffic into it. Resolution Planning Board for the Township of Woodbridge to undertake preliminary investigation to determine certain real properties on Woodbridge, basically it's up on Main Street, 304, 306. What is the intent of looking at that for redevelopment? What do you plan on doing that? As part of that, the road expansion? And also number 23, the civil rights litigation about Middlesex, against Middlesex County. How will that affect the residents, and what do you hope to gain by that litigation? Those are my questions. Oh, sorry, one other, if I can get that in real quick. There's a lot of rumors going around, and a lot of people are concerned what's going to happen with the Woodbridge Mall. We know that they're terribly behind arrears, apparently, to their bank, their mortgage holder. Is it going to be redeveloped, and if so, what plans may you have for the redevelopment? A hospital, school, or something else? Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, you started with number 20, you said, right?
Yes, please.
Mayor?
Number 20 is the parking garage that's expected to be built on the end of Ross Street at the intersection of Route 35, where there's currently, I'm sorry, not Ross Street, North James Street. There's currently an auto use, 2 houses, and some of the land that we own. That's not expected to impact anything in Ross Street School, other than the teachers will have the bottom floor of that to park in, and the rest of it will be for diners and shoppers. Number 21 is the Venetian Nolan building. When they were approached because some of that land needed to be taken for the widening of Main Street in connection with the whole project up at the intersection of Lowe's and the new development there, they decided to talk to us about possibly redeveloping the project property, so that we said we would have to study that. So that's in cooperation with them as the owner. The civil litigation is also Middlesex Water Company and 3M Company. We don't know what might come out of that, but we want to put ourselves in a good position, so if there ever is a settlement that the water company or 3M reach with the litigants, that we will be at the forefront and be able to get some of that money toward our residents, but more likely it'll come to the water company if they sue 3M and get to our residents that way. But we want to be part of anything that happens. So we're joining with 5 other towns in that litigation. And finally, there's no plans at all for the mall that we know. They were in to talk to us. They are in receivership, and there's a trustee named, I think that's the right buzzword, for their process of bankruptcy. But we have not heard anything at all. There's rumors of a hospital, there's rumors of a school, there's rumors of everything. We have not heard a single thing on the record from the mall or the people in charge of it now.
All right. Thank you very much for the point of clarification. And just as not a condemnation at all, but when you speak to that mic, when you get that close.
I didn't realize that, I'm sorry, yeah, I didn't realize that.
But thank you.
Are there any other comments this evening from the public?
John Rotaric, Woodbridge. Again, the water company, a lot of people are not understanding the whole township. Certain people in the township said they're not affected by it. I know some people in Colonia said they're not affected because the water comes from Norway. Mayor, part of the question, is the whole township affected with the polluted water, or it's not?
The first round started with the majority of Colonia, much of Island, I should say, and a lot of Avenel. The second round said the whole township. So there were 4 towns involved, part of those 4 towns, and now there's 6 towns, 100%. So they added, it was always South Plainfield, Edison, Metuchen, and Woodbridge, pieces of each. And now they said all of those 4 towns, and they added Carteret and they added Clark.
At what point did you find out this out? Have the water company notify the people, or did you know it before?
We found out the first time 1 day before, and we found out the second time the same day.
Good job. Again, that's good to know. You know, we've been coming to those meetings before the 2020 election, now election, and I understand what's going on. We are talking about something that's over, and let it be over. We know what people stand for, and we know what you're standing for, Mayor. But the last council meeting, you was told to resign. I don't think you should resign, and I don't think any of the council people here are in favor of you to resign. Let's stop to this. People come here because it's their right to do it. Like a Jim will talk about that, and yet you won't stop to the Pledge of Allegiance to the United States of America. But that's his right again. You got a right to believe what you believe. I respect you for it. And nobody else, so let's not waste the time. We got a lot of issues that's happening even though that's money, whatever it is. Let's get to the business. Elections are over. We all ran, some won, some lost. And again, let's get together with the best of the town. But let's stop the nonsense. Because I can tell you will not admit, you will not say so, and expect it. And of course, I don't want you to resign either. And I don't think none of those people present over here want you to resign. So let's stop to it. Let's get to something else. Don't waste our time. And that's what people want to come here. Because it's just a nonsense. We talk about people who just don't want to be heard. But get to the point. There's a lot of important things that should be done. And give those people a chance, one by one, individually ask them. But don't just go over the word over the day, so to speak. It's over. And I don't know how much more we can stay for it, but stay on. Thank you.
Well, thank you. If Tom Maris and John Vitarik say something nice about me, I think I'm going to go next door to Quick Check and buy 100 lottery tickets. It's my day. 200, one for you. All right.
Ma'am?
Hi.
Ma'am?
Hi, can you, hi. This is my first meeting here, so just want to say.
Just your name and address, please.
Oh, I'm sorry, Angela over on Barron Avenue. This is about as exciting as watching Eyewitness News on TV, I have to tell you. But anyway, since everybody's talking about water, I'd like to talk about the flood, Ida. And I see that Mary's not here tonight, and I see that, and I know that it was on her agenda to talk about FEMA and Blue Acres. I had 8 feet of water in my house, and my house is now considered inhabitable. So I'm just curious as to where we stand, what do we do, but I'm not sure if anybody else will address this issue this evening.
Yeah, I'll be happy to talk to you after the meeting. What number are you?
657 Barron. I'm right on the creek.
All right, then
The creek is my neighbor. Yeah.
Okay, so we were around there when it was after the
Yes,
flood.
yes.
Did you sign up for FEMA?
I did.
And you should have gotten a letter in the last couple of days letting you know that they're searching for funding from the federal government. They haven't gotten it yet. If not, you'll probably get it tomorrow. They went out.
Okay.
But I'm happy to talk to you after the meeting and tell you everything we know about it.
Yeah, I mean, somebody needs to do something where
We're supportive of, if you look at the map, every house on both sides of the creek on Freeman and Harrell, not Freeman, Barron and Harrell, all the way up to Orange, and I think even one more house the other side heading down toward Green Street. So we're supportive of all those houses. If they want to get bought out, we will be supportive of that. You've been through a lot, and we can't stand in the way if you want to get relief.
3 years. This is my fourth
we understand.
flood. This is my fourth flood, twice, 100%. So, but anyway, so I know we have other issues that are more important for others, but that was more important for me, so I'm sorry to take up everybody's.
That's right. I'll talk to you right after the meeting.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. And just for the record, I like your T-shirt. Better yet, I want to see a T-shirt that says human rights, not black only. I don't want it.
Are there any other comments from the public this evening?
Thank you, sorry.
Now, you know what, yo, of course these guys compliment you because you're Trump supporter like them. So are you. This town, you should be ashamed of yourselves, really. I'm ashamed of this town. I'm ashamed of this town, for real.
Bye.
Sir?
Sir?
Okay. My name's Kyle. I live over on Alex Place. So I consistently see homeless people around some of the streets that I walk, especially at night. I know that there's a lot of construction going around. We're building up new places. Are any accommodations being made for the homeless population?
Every project in town has a component for affordable housing. That's not necessarily homeless, but it does target people who have lesser means. We also have an arrangement with the city of Perth Amboy where we provided funding from our community development block grant funds to upgrade some of their homeless shelters, and in exchange, they agreed to house some of the people we identify as homeless. And our police officers are instructed to bring those people if they're willing to go, and that's the big key, because a lot of people will not go with an officer to a shelter. They just won't. But we have a very aggressive program to try to get them to do that and bring them to Perth Amboy. And the good thing about that is Steve Jobin and the YMCA have a wonderful program to identify all the appropriate services and programs that they can avail themselves up and any financial support that they can get. So that's the way. Good. Yeah, you can call them into the PD. I would use the non-emergency number, 7700.
Okay. Does the city support Housing First initiatives?
I'm not sure I'm familiar with that term.
Basically, it means putting them in permanent housing before doing anything else. A lot of other countries have adopted that practice, and it has reduced their homeless population and has increased their workforce and that.
We don't have permanent homeless housing, so I don't know how we could say we support that. But again, we have a partnership with the city that does.
Okay. I think that is something that you should look into. It's proven to be a very effective program, and I think adopting it on a local level could be very good. I also want to say, with these new luxury apartments being in, I think everybody's a little bit worried about how roads are going to handle all the traffic. Is anything being used to deter that, such as increased public transport options?
Every project has to provide a traffic study when they come in. Most of them, if not only the one that's not right on the train station, is the one at the Hess site. Hess site will have jitneys and shuttles between there to take people to the train station, not only Woodbridge, but also Metro Park. Everything else is right on the train, so it's expected that the vast majority of those tenants will be commuters, just like Avenel. There's 500 apartments in Avenel and no noticeable increase in traffic as a result of them. There's only 51 school kids, so there's no noticeable increase on the schools either. So certainly there'll be more cars, but you have to remember the site where Riffy's is used to have a 200-car parking lot. So those 200 cars no longer travel to downtown Woodbridge. So when you replace them with some of the cars that are for the residents that live there, sure, there's a net increase, but you always have to look at what was in those sites, on those sites, and what that generated. So for example, Quick Check generated a lot of traffic. It's one of the busiest ones in the state. That generated an awful lot of traffic. The strip mall across the street was downhill in the last couple of years, but when it was all 10 stores filled, that generated a whole lot of traffic coming down. So when you weigh everything, sure, there's a little bit of an increase in traffic as a result of what's happening, but you have to always look at what it was to compare to what it will be.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the public this evening? Here are no other comments. Can I get a motion that the public portion, comment portion be closed? Motion. Second. In favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? We'll go into the agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Mitch. On my agenda number 3, Port Reading Fire and EMS, I'm happy to announce Port Reading Fire EMS annual Christmas tree lighting celebration will take place on Monday, November 22nd at 6 p.m. Some of the events are take a photo with Santa, hear carols from the Woodbridge High School Choir, have a hot chocolate, fresh holiday baked cookies, visit with some of Santa's friends, and I'll keep that a secret, but you're going to be amazed by some of the friends that Santa Claus brings along with him. Send a letter to the North Pole, make a s'mores at the fire pit, and Christmas crafts and tattoos. Also, the most important part of this is we're asking that everybody attends bring an unwrapped gift, because we're going to do stuff an ambulance, and all the unwrapped gifts will be donated to the Bristol Myers Squibb Children's Hospital in New Brunswick. This was a huge success 2 years ago. The generosity was incredible from the residents and the township residents, and anybody who even came from out of town. So we urge you to go on our website, take a look at this, and come out to the event. It's going to be a wonderful day. Number 4, Mayor's Mac Cafe. Stop by, have lunch. It's a great time. You see how it means for these kids to learn their skills and their trades, and it's a lot of fun, and you'll have a good meal too. So, Mayor Mac Cafe, 880 West Avenue in Port Reading, and it's open from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. 17, the Light Parade. Our second light parade is going to take place on November 27th at 6 p.m. It's going to follow Small Business Saturday, which is an event on Main Street with all kinds of things to do for the kids to do, ice skating. We'll light the tree at 5:30. Mr. Haggerty, right? Correct? There'll be crafts. There'll be plenty of things to do, plus all the merchants will be open. So we ask you to also stop in and see the merchants on Main Street. The parade, please go onto the township website to see the routes. Mr. Mitch and myself have extended the routes for the light parade. We've extended the invitation list, so the light parade we expect to be bigger and better than the first year. And again, we were very, very excited to pull this off, and again, it's going to be bigger and better than the last time. I want to congratulate my fellow councilmates on their re-election. You all worked hard, and people came out and supported you, and I congratulate you all on a job well done. Other than that, please support our police, our fire, our EMS, our township employees, and God bless America. Vice President Bauer.
Thank you, Council President. My agenda is in order. I have a few announcements. Ford's VFW Post 1690 Veterans Day services will be held on Thursday, November 11th at 11 a.m. at their memorial monument located at King George Road and Coriel Street. Refreshments will be served after the event at their post located at 411 New Brunswick Avenue. Menlo Park's Terrace School number 19 is seeking donations from one of their students and families who were displaced due to a fire in their home last week on Lawrence Avenue in Fords. Thankfully, nobody was injured. Donations can be dropped off at Menlo Park School number 19 on Mary Knoll Road, Friday, November 12th, Monday, November 15th, Thursday, November 8th from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Or here's a contact number, 732-596-4147. Gift cards and monetary donations are accepted. Please make checks payable to MPT19PTO, or you can Venmo at Menlo Park Terrace-PTO. Ford's Fire Company, in conjunction with the local Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts units, will be conducting a Toys for Tots drive again this year. It was a great success last year. A donation box will be placed outside this weekend in the foyer in front of the firehouse located at 667 King George Road. Thank you for your donations in advance, and just like to thank all the residents who came out to vote to re-elect me as the second ward councilman. I look forward to serving the second ward in the township again for the next 4 years. Thank you, Council President. That's all I have tonight.
Thank you, Vice President Bauer. Councilwoman DeJesus.
Thank you, Council President. My agenda is in order. I would also like to congratulate my council mates. I look forward to working with all of you in the next 4 years. Again, I have one announcement, and that is the main library offers hands-on, in-person Microsoft Office skills classes, and a computer help desk is staffed during all hours of operation. You can call 732-634-4450-7161 for more information. Thank you. That is all that I have.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Spiller.
Thank you, Council President. Item number 1, please join us for Avenel's Very Merry Holiday Lighting, where we'll light the 17-foot tree and the 6-foot menorah. The event will be held at the Avenel Firehouse on Sunday, November 28th from 4 to 6. Please consider bringing a new unopened toy to donate to the Bristol Myers Squibb Children's Hospital. We have photos with Santa, horse and carriage ride, photos with Santa, event photo booths, marshmallow toasting fire pits, bounce house, ice sculpture, holiday caroling, refreshments. So this is our 4th annual. It's turned out to be a great event. So hope to see you there. And then, as I said the last meeting, kind of ties in with the light parade, which is the next day. So that, I'm sorry, the previous day. So that'll get the holiday juices going. Item number 7, construction's moving along nicely on the 3 restaurant uses at the site of the former Bud's Hut, 906 Route 1. The property owner is working with businesses to lease all 3 out. Item number 8, please join residents, members, and our veterans for Avenel VFW Post 7164 Annual Veterans Day Service as we pay tribute to all our veterans. The event is this Thursday, 11/11 at 11 at 60 West Park Avenue in Avenel. And it gets brought up a lot. All of us as Americans have a lot of rights, privileges, freedoms, and it's because of the efforts and sacrifices of our veterans. The rest of my agenda is in order, Council President. Just a few announcements. I'd like to echo the sentiment. I want to congratulate my fellow ward council mates on their victory, as well as all my council mates for all of your support throughout the last few years. I want to thank the residents that came out and supported me and re-elected me for another 4 years. I look forward to working with all you and working for the residents. Congratulations to Carmine, Diana, and their family at Jersey Pizza Boys, who had their ribbon cutting last week, located at 147 Avenel Street, opposite Avenel Performing Arts Center. The food and atmosphere are incredible. Ask for the Island Fair pizza. It is exactly the same as it was 30 years ago. It just continues. Avenel Street's definitely happening. Thank you to all our emergency responders, fire, EMS, our Woodbridge Police Department, CERT, and all of our public works and township employees. God bless America. Thank you, Council President Small.
Thank you, Councilman Spiller. Councilwoman Meakin.
Thank you, Council President. I'll be reading Councilwoman Drum's agenda this evening. Number 4, Chamber of Commerce. To all the Chamber Award dinner sponsors, we want to thank you. This past October's annual event was a huge success because of you. Chamber is having a holiday event on Thursday, December 9th from 5 to 7 at Aquila's Christmas Tree stand on St. George Avenue in Avenel. For more information, you can visit the Chamber website for details and to register. Going down to buy local, the holiday season is coming soon, so please consider purchasing your gifts to friends and loved ones from our Woodbridge Township businesses. Congratulations to Dispatch Operator Mark Azino for his heroic actions, where he received a proclamation this evening for life-saving work. And also thank you to the ladies of Colonia Country Club for their huge donation to our DVRT. And she also wanted to congratulate her councilmates for their victory and thank everybody in the First Ward for their support in re-electing her. Going to my agenda, this Saturday, November 13th, is our annual turkey trot down Inman Avenue. We'll be leaving School 21 at 11 a.m. and we'll proceed down to Evergreen Center, where we'll have hayride, pumpkin painting, face painting, crafts, and light refreshments. We'll also be collecting food for the food banks between 11 and 2 p.m. And we'll also be making up baskets for families in Woodbridge Township in need so that they can have a nice Thanksgiving meal. You can just drive up. You don't have to get out of your car. We'll come right to your car to take the food out. The annual Colonia tree lighting this year will be on November 22nd, beginning at 6:30 at the Evergreen Center on Inman Avenue, where the St. John Vianney's Choir will lead in caroling as we await the annual Woodbridge Township Light Parade and the arrival of Santa, who will stop briefly to light our tree. We'll have hot cocoa and refreshments. We won't have s'mores because I'm not a fireman, and these guys can have s'mores and I can't, but we'll have stuff there. Friday, December 10th will be the annual Cookies and Can event, where we'll collect food for holiday baskets and toys for local families. We'll also be making holiday baskets from home filled with homemade cookies and cards to send to local troops that are serving our country away from their homes this holiday season. This event will begin at 6 p.m. and it will be at the Colonia VFW. This year, the annual Woodbridge Township Toy Drive will be collecting toys at various sites beginning now through December 10th. New unwrapped toys can be dropped off at any of the Woodbridge Township senior centers or at the Woodbridge Community Center. All locations will have a designated bin where the toys can be placed. These toys will be distributed during the holidays for children in need in our township. For more information or to donate a gift card, you can either reach out to me at 732-382-0273 or Pat Trombetta at 732-636-3910. And last but not least, our Veterans Day Parade to salute our veterans will be this Sunday on November 14. The parade will kick off at 1:30 p.m. from Ross Street School and make its way down to Town Hall. Please to take the time to come out and salute our veterans. Like we said, we couldn't do that last year, and it's important that we salute all of our veterans that do so much for all of us. And Colonia VFW will be holding their Veterans Day ceremony at 11 o'clock this Thursday, also on Inman Avenue. And I just want to thank all our veterans for their service to our country, and also the ward, the 5th Ward of Colonia, just for their support for me and re-electing me. And congratulations to all my council mates. That's all I have this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Meehan. Councilman Anderson.
Thank you, Council President. For item number 1 for our WTYRC, the Woodbridge Township Recreation Department presents youth indoor basketball. The signups are going on now. Indoor recreation basketball, the deadline for registration is November 10th. Boys and girls, grades K through 12. The league runs from December to March. Games are played in schools throughout Woodbridge Township, and the games will be in a healthy, positive, fun environment. The cost is $50 for township residents, $65 for non-residents. For information, please call the rec department at 732-596-4048, or you can email the recreation department at twp.woodbridge.nj.us. Moving down to the job bank, we have our Sansone Veteran and Spouse Employment Assistance Center. As we near Veterans Day, this is very apropos. Your community, your home, your business at work to assist you. the Sandstone Veteran, Woodbridge Veteran and Spouse Employment Assistance Center, and Veteran Service Network works to assist current and returning area veterans, National Guard members, reservists, and spouses with information and guidance. The representatives of the Sandstone Woodbridge Veteran and Spouse Assistance Center are available to assist veterans and spouses with local business employment opportunities, job and employment training, higher education, counseling, social services, and other areas of concern. And regarding our youth, Middlesex County has our Elite Youth One-Stop Center, and the service includes work experience, paid training and labor demands occupations, and career pathways and exploration, basic skill set remediation, work readiness, customer service skills, supportive services, high school equivalency test preparation. And you can go to www.middlesexcountynj.gov. UPS is hiring package handlers between $18.50 and $20 an hour to start. Woodbridge Crossing Guards, good pay, great part-time job, free training, must be 18 or over to apply. Please contact HR at 732-634-4500, extension 6408, or Eunice Jackson at 732-634-4500, extension 2125. Pizza Hut has a new store at 1236 St. George's in Avenel. There's no experience necessary, and they'll teach you and offer a flexible schedule. Amazon is offering a $1,000 sign-on bonus. BASF and 911 dispatchers go to the township website. Substitute teachers are also desperately needed, so please consider becoming a substitute teacher if you're looking for work right now. And FedEx Ground is also hiring. Regarding the Woodbridge Hall of Fame, there's no announcements for the Woodbridge Hall of Fame, but I would like to congratulate the Woodbridge High School football team on their fine season. Their state playoff run has come to an end with a first-round loss to Ridge. Woodbridge climbed as high as 12th ranked team in New Jersey and had crowds of over $3,000 at their home games this year. Colonia High School, on the other hand, is still alive and in the hunt for their first state title with a 32-21 road victory in Randolph, and head to top-seeded Irvington this Friday night at 7 p.m. Come out and support the Patriots. JFK Mustangs, who struggled all season, did beat JP Stevens 39-0 in their final regular season game, and in their consolation game, they won the Battle of the JFKs over JFK Patterson 44-12. That is all I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilman Anderson. Councilman Farrar.
Thank you, Council President. First, let me congratulate all of our councilmates and Board of Education and everybody else who put themselves out there for re-election. I'd also like to mention that I think as elected officials, we don't give up our right to support people for whatever position they're running for. I don't like the term hand select, but I think we have the right to support who we want. So unfortunately, the person that made that statement is not here. I'd also like to point out, it's just an observation, we all participated in the New Jersey census, and the census for Woodbridge showed that our population has gone up along with our minority population. So I have to think that Woodbridge Township is a welcoming town regardless of what your culture is. Moving into my agenda, I'd just like to point out that at the club at Woodbridge and the Woodbridge Community Center, the activities are too plentiful to mention, so I'll just throw out the website. For the club, it's theclub.org, and for the community center, it's njwcc.com. I would like to point out two unique things. The club does have an indoor turf rental, which is great if you have a recreation team or club that needs some space to practice. It's huge. It's a great place. And also unique feature is the golf den, where you can actually play around the golf inside, and with the weather changing now, it's a great opportunity. Special events on Thursday, November 18th, our health center is in collaboration with the New Jersey State Police are doing a car seat inspection from 3 to 6 p.m. again on the 18th of November. You have to call to register. Ask for Ashley at 732-855-0600, extension 524. This car seat inspection, anybody that, I have grandkids, it seems like the car seats, the way you connect them, it changes like month to month. So it's good to have that come out. Congratulations to our addiction services for running their color run a few weekends ago. In particular, Chairman Gabby Pasternak, Chris Powers, and of course Dr. Nolan. The proceeds from this went for safe and clean housing for people that are trying to recover. So it was a great event. The first annual Township-wide Turkey Trot 5K run is on November 27th. There's a lot of activities going on that day. It's a big holiday day for us. Bib pickup is at 8:30. The race starts at 10. It's at Alvin P. Williams Park. $25 registration. You have to register online at register.compuscore.com/WB, which stands for Woodbridge, and that's a turkey trot. Again, it's a great activity, and for those of you that are into competitive running, and if I will, I'm just going to give a quick rundown of our health center as it relates to the COVID vaccines. Mayor McCormick's update newsletter does a good job, so if you miss anything I said, just check that. Adult clinics for ages 12 and up. There's the next one is November 18th from 3 to 6. And now you know that children ages 5 to 11, there's a clinic on Friday of this week, November 12th, 4 to 6. Friday, November 19th, 4 to 6, and you have to call and make reservations. I'm going to just read a statement again. The Federal Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, approved the administration of the Pfizer vaccine for children ages 5 through 11. Effective immediately, New Jersey children 5 through 11 of ages are eligible to receive the Pfizer vaccine against COVID-19 as soon as possible. The Woodbridge Health Department, as I said to you, is holding clinics for this age group. And for all of these vaccines, please call 732-855-0600, extension 504. Our clinics offer the Pfizer vaccine, which is available now. COVID-19 vaccines booster shots are available for Moderna, Pfizer, BioNTech vaccine recipients who committed their initial series at least 6 months ago. Groups 65 and older, 18 plus who are underlying medical conditions, 18 plus who work in high-risk settings, schools, retail, 18 plus who live in high-risk settings, nursing homes. Just to give you a little bit of the percentage of immunizations here in Woodbridge Township, 12 plus with at least one vaccine, 85%. 12 plus with both doses, 78%. 18 plus with at least one dose, 86%. 18 plus with both doses, 78%. 65 plus with one is 97%. 65 plus with both is 90%. And ages 12 to 17 age group with at least one is 76. So I read all of that technical stuff to complement our health department and everything that they do, and thank our administration. Sorry for the technical part of that, but I felt it necessary. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Vaccaro. Councilman Patel.
Thank you, Council President. My also in order, I have two announcements. Islin VFW Post is hosting their Veterans Day services this Thursday, November 11th, starting at 11 a.m. And this services will be at the Post Monument, which is located on Arth Avenue in Islin. And I would like also to congratulate all my council colleagues on their election victories. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Patel. Director Hubner.
Thank you, Council President. I just have two traffic ordinances.
Thank you. Director Dart.
Thank you, Council President. Just standard biweekly refund resolution. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Brewer.
Thank you, Council President. I have two items on the agenda. One is the release of a bond for Jacob's Landing, Phase 1 at Munns Lane. The second is the release of the bond for Jacob's Landing, Phases 2 and 3 at Munns Lane.
Thank you. Business Administrator Saluda.
Thank you, Council President. I have a 100% disability veteran, and I have a tax and sewer overpayment. Thank you.
Mr. Nash.
Nothing to see the Council President.
Thank you. As mentioned earlier, it's Veterans Day Thursday. Please thank a veteran. You see a veteran. I see there's two in the back of the room here. Thank you, gentlemen, for your service. And motion to adjourn.
Motion. Second.